My dearest beloved light family, we have some questions here, very important questions, and we want to answer them publicly for all of us because there are some important topics here, especially in light of current events. It's Irene's question and Marlowe's question. I already responded to Irene's question in writing. First of all, it's vitally important for us to understand that to allow toxic people to invade our personal space is equal to suicide. We have so many people in Russia and all over the world that ask us why they chronically lack energy. What would be the reason? Some people try to look into deep metaphysics, trying to find a solution in past lives, cracks in their energy fields, and the like. But they don't see the obvious. If we allow people in our lives that express anger, indignation, rage, accusation, and all kinds of strong, distorted negative emotions based on anger, fear, pain, and protectiveness, those four distortions, we allow ourselves to be spiritually raped, molested, and digested. When someone starts to act up like this in our presence, physical or on the phone or online, it doesn't matter, we should know that they want our life force, which we start losing immediately, literally from the first seconds of engaging ourselves in any interpersonal relationships of any kind where people start expressing strong emotions and temper flares. Our life force is the most precious substance because it's a source of your physical and spiritual health, strength, well-being. And we're not prepared to lose it no matter what. And the strategy is the following. Whenever anyone starts to act up in your presence, like raising their voice at you or being aggressive, you must do the following. First of all, the most important is not to respond to those people copying their aggressive style of communication. As they start their aggressive expression, tell them that in order for this conversation to be continued, they must decrease the volume of their voice. Calm down, speak quietly and clearly. If they do what you tell them to do, then perhaps there's going to be some conversation. But if a person keeps going with his aggression, then you just hang up if you use the phone, sign off if you use internet, or go away if it's in your physical presence. A common mistake that people, even advanced masters, make is that they start to engage in such conversations on their level. When they start their aggression, people either respond with aggression or with strong emotions. They either start to apologize, never apologize before the aggressor, or they start to try to explain themselves, prove themselves right, justify themselves, ask forgiveness, never ask anybody's forgiveness. Asking forgiveness affirms a sense of guilt that comes from fear and protectiveness. We see here all four distorted emotions at play: anger, fear, and never give yourself permission to feel pain, being hurt, being offended. Is anyone familiar with such a feeling when people tell you on top of the strongest negative emotions that you are guilty of something yet that you never committed, or you're dumb, foolish, evil, and the like, and suddenly you feel like you want to cry? The moment you feel like you want to cry, you start losing your life force. It's very important to take charge over yourself and never allow this feeling before you feel it. Also, never raise your voice. Never raise your voice. It's not masterful to show emotion. We don't show them and we don't suppress them. Emotions equal life force. When we display them, we lose our life force. Don't raise your voice. Speak with your natural voice. If they don't hear you, it's not your problem. Perhaps they need to be quieter or come closer to you, but never put pressure on your voice for their sake. People must communicate with you on your terms, clearly, with their natural volume of their voices. Never strain your voice and your nervous system. For example, scientifically, even brief moments of anger can cause your blood vessels to constrict. raising cardiovascular disease risk. That's why anger is toxic for both who is angry and those whom they are angry at. If a person continues to speak in strong emotions, don't speak back. Stop talking with an angry person. Delete him from your phone book and forget about him. If you see them angry, forget about them. If your life is precious to you. This Almine's Telegram group is a place of peace, rest, refreshing, and self-empowerment. It will never be a place where anyone come and dump here their garbage, urinate and defecate in this holy place. No temper flares ever here. Answering next question, Marla's question. I didn't read those posts. I didn't visit the websites with toxic communications. I heard quintessence from different light family members. And what I take, there enormous amount of toxicity now in those places, along with the words of great wisdom. Read Almine's great words of wisdom and don't read toxicity. I love Almine with all my heart. I highly respect her. And I have no expectations. We have someone at our Russian Telegram group who keeps telling me for several times a day, Almine must do this, Almine must do that. Almine owes me nothing. She can communicate or she can choose not to communicate. When she went into seclusion in 2019, I asked her if she has any special instructions for the Russian office in her absence. She told me, everything is up to you, Sergey. The message is clear. I operate the office and keep financial responsibilities and commitments to Almin as a founder and author of the materials. And she went into seclusion, commissioning us during 2019 Ohio seminar to put deeper roots into her teachings, to create study groups. And when I started working for Almin in 2010, she introduced so-called business plan for prosperity for Balvaspata practitioners and all those who wanted to teach her materials. The only requirement was crediting Almin as an author and originator of the materials and refer people to her websites. Financial sharing was not a requirement, but many practitioners wanted to share financially as a token of gratitude. There is nothing mentioned about scrutinizing, and as Almin says, that each one of us is a unique lens of the infinite with unique perception and interpretation of the teachings. And everyone can teach Almin's work only to the best of our understanding, and it depends on the level and peculiarity of our perception of each one of us. I know some professional psychologists here in Moscow that use especially first two Almin's books for the work, A Life of Miracles, Journey to the Heart of God, for their work with their clients. And it's a normal thing. Someone who read the book and uses the knowledge in his life professionally. As we sold tens of thousands of the copies, we may guess that there are thousands of people in the world who use Almin's wisdom for their professional career development, work with their clients. How is it possible to keep track on all of this? If I understood the question correctly, and this was one of the main themes of 2019 Ohio seminar, to use the legacy of Almin's materials to create study groups to put deep roots into the teachings. And we have thousands of Balvaspata practitioners around the world with books with clear instructions. We don't know how many people are self-initiated in practice. That was Almin's original idea. Scrutinizing or not scrutinizing, every person has his unique individual level of consciousness and perception, and everyone will use the materials to the best of their understanding. Also, Almin told us that even if we made mistakes, the angel gods will correct them. Almine only asked us if we practice her tools, we should live pure and holy lives. No alcohol, no recreational drugs, pure body, no aggressive language, no anger, no fear, no pain, no protectiveness, living in 12 pairs of pure emotions. No self-pity, no self-importance. Then there will be, mm, well, there will not be any desire to add anything to the teachings or tools. Usually people do that in a state of self-importance. They want to display themselves smarter than the Bulwaspata book, or they're full of self-pity, and they always tend to prove themselves or affirm themselves because they suffer from either megalomania or inferiority complex. If we are free from all these things, then we don't worry about doing something wrong. And unethical people in the world are no surprise. They're everywhere and they don't understand the logic. And no one forces us to interact with them. We can only interact with two kinds of people: people of our kind and people that are ready to make as much effort as they can to rise themselves up to our level. Talk to you soon.